everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a really long set of cuffing nails. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm just going in and filing down the acrylic that she has left on this hand. She tried to soak the nails off at home, but she didn't finish. She left some of the acrylic on this hand, but the other one is completely soaked off. So I'm just thinning down the acrylic. This is just going to speed up the soaking time, and I'm just using my coarse drill bit, and it's a safety one to make sure that I don't cut her, also that I don't file down on her natural nail. So again, we're just filing down the acrylic, and then we're going to soak them off in pure acetone. Alrighty, so after this, we're just going to fill up the little soaking dapping dish with pure acetone, and we're going to let that soak while I do the other hand. So the first thing that I'm doing is just pushing back the cuticles, and as always, this is just going to expose the new growth and also help reduce lifting. After that, we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. As always, make sure that you focus around that cuticle area first, going from the right side over to the left side, going back and forth, and then also just removing the shine from the rest of the nail. Make sure to be really gentle when you're doing this, because remember, we don't want to thin down the nail. We're literally just removing the shine, and then as you can see here, I'm just trimming down the nails a little bit at the free edge with the same sanding band, and that just helps me save a little bit time. Instead of going in and trimming them and then filing them with the hand file, I can just go in and do it with my e-file, but make sure that you're really gentle when you're doing this as well. So after we finish removing the shine from the natural nail, we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. Now the nail tips that I'm going to be using on her today, she actually bought from the I believe she said from the not supply, but the hair supply store. So they're longer than the ones that I have, because usually we have to do the 2-tip method with her, but she found these are a little bit bigger. They just look like this, and they are the natural ones, and they're pretty long. So we're going to go ahead and apply them. Remember that when you're applying nail tips, you want to make sure that the nail tips fit on the nail exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be too small or too big. If it is a little bit too small, then always go up and use the size above that one and just file it down to make it fit perfectly. But you don't want to apply it if it's too small or too big, because if it's too small, you're gonna get breakage, and then if it's too big, you're gonna get lifting. So make sure that it's the correct size. Also make sure that you hold your finger really straight when you're applying the nail tips. That way the nails don't end up crooked. So once we're done applying the nail tips, we're just going to go in and trim them down on the sides. And this is just to help us save a little bit of time whenever we're shaping the nails. Remember, you do want to make sure that you're using a straight edge nail clipper when you're doing this, because if not, it will mess up your shape. After that, we're going to go in with a 100-100 nail file to shape the nails. Again, we're doing a coffin shape, so of course we're going to go at a 45-degree angle on the sides and a 90-degree angle at the free edge, and also blending the nail tips right in the middle. That way they look a lot more natural once we apply the acrylic. Again, 45-degree on the sides, 90-degree angle at the free edge. And make sure, especially since they're so long, make sure that you're holding the nail tip, as you can see there. Just hold it, that way it doesn't move all over the place. And these are actually really sturdy for them to be this long. They're really thick, so they didn't, you know, bend or anything when I was filing them. So I did like that about these tips. So we're gonna go ahead and finish shaping all of these nails. Again, 45-degree angle on the sides, 90-degree angle at the free edge, and also making sure that you're holding your fingers straight. And when you're filing the free edge, make sure that you file at a vertical angle. That way you get them like extra straight, like super straight, and you get that really pretty coffin shape. Alrighty, so we're finishing up this hand. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the other hand. So it's been soaking the whole time that I was doing that first hand. So the acrylic is completely soaked off. So I just wiped it off with a paper towel. And now I'm just going in with a cuticle pusher and just pushing back those cuticles. Remember, this is just going to expose the new growth and reduce lifting. And then we're just going to do the same thing that we just did on the other hand. So we push back the cuticles, remove the shine, apply the nail tips with the KDS glue, and then trim the sides and shape them, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so now we can go in with the Young Nail Protein Bond, and I'm applying that on the natural nail. I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, and it's been working really good for me. I haven't had any problems with lifting. The reason why I stopped using the OPI one was because I was having problems with lifting, but I think I just got a bad bottle. It's probably too old. So that's why. But anyways, now we're gonna go in and apply the acrylic. I'm using my Alpha brush in a number 10, and I love it. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description if you guys would like to check it out. Before the acrylic application, the first thing that I did was I placed the bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, and we just brushed it down towards the tip. Remember that since these nails are really long, we are gonna have to apply a little bit more acrylic, so it is going to take a bit longer. So usually when I'm doing her, I actually book her for 2 hours, just because I know that it's going to take me a lot longer, you know, to do her nails because of how long the nails are. So it's basically like me doing like 2 sets on one person because of how long they are. And yes, you know, of course I do charge a bit more. I do have a price list on my Instagram if you're interested in my prices, and my prices actually include all of the nail art and everything. So that's why I just price them based on length, and then they can get whatever they want. And that's just how I do it. I know I had someone ask me how do I price based on chrome and glitter and encapsulated nails and ombre. Well, again, all of that is already included in my price, and it just makes it a lot easier. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos about pricing. It just makes it a lot easier instead of being okay, so it's $20 for your acrylic set, and then it's $10 for gel polish, and then it's $2 for that chrome nail, and then it's $1 for this, and it just makes it really confusing. So I like to just kind of incorporate everything together and have a set price. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and continue to apply the acrylic. So I'm basically doing the 4-bar method when I'm applying the acrylic. I am using bigger beads when I'm working with these longer nails, and then of course I'm just looking at the nail from different angles. As you can see, I'm looking at it from the side, and then I'm just adding acrylic where it's needed. It's really important that you have a nice apex when you're doing long nails, because if not, they will break off super easily. So you want them to be thick enough when you're doing this. So again, we applied that first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, brushing the acrylic down towards the tip, making sure that it's nice and smooth before you apply the next bead. Next, we're going to apply the second one right below that one. So same thing, placing it down, brushing it down towards the tip, making sure that you're really gentle when you're applying the acrylic or when you're brushing it down, because I feel like a lot of the time if you pat too hard, it will make the acrylic dry up a lot faster. So just be really gentle. And the third bead, we're placing it closer to the cuticle area. So same thing, patting it down. And when I'm patting it down, especially when I'm around the cuticle area, it's I place the bead down really close to the cuticle area, but not on the cuticle. And then when I pat it down, it's it kind of spreads towards the cuticle as close as it can get. And then I go in and clean around if I need to. But make sure that you do not apply the acrylic on the skin. You want it as close as you can to the cuticle, but not on the cuticle, because if you get it on the skin, it's going to be really hard to take off, and most likely you will get lifting. So make sure that you're careful when you're applying acrylic around the cuticle area, and I cannot stress that enough, but it's really important. But anyways, now we're applying the bead at the apex. This is what's going to build our strength, so make sure you place it down and kind of just blend it down towards the middle, just to blend all of the acrylic together. And then of course, just look at the nail from the sides to see where you need to apply more acrylic, whether it's you know, at your apex area or your tip, wherever. Just apply it where you need it. So don't feel like you don't, you know, just basically don't feel like you can't add more acrylic when you're doing the 4-bar method, because you absolutely can. Just add wherever you need it, and don't be scared you know, to go in and add more at the tip, or especially the apex area if they're too thin. So we're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again. I'm using my Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink, and I'm using my Alpha brush in a number 10, and it's an oval shape. And like I said earlier, I absolutely love these brushes. They're so good. They last me a really long time, so I do highly recommend them. Remember, your brush is the most important tool when doing acrylic nails. If you're you're not using a good brush, you will not be able to do a good set, because it's going to make it really hard for you to do so. So I do suggest that you invest in a good brush, and same thing for your acrylic system. It's really important as well, but you're using your brush to apply your product, of course. So if you don't have a good brush, it's not gonna work. So I will leave the link down below to the Alpha Brush website, so you guys can check them out. Again, I use a number 10 in an oval shape. Alrighty, so we're finally done applying the acrylic. So next I'm gonna go in and reshape the nails. So same thing, 45-degree angle at the sides and 90-degree angle at the free edge to make sure that we perfect that shape, because we want that perfect coffin shape. Next, I'm going to go in with my extra fine drill bit by Pana, and we're going to start around the cuticle area first, going from the right side over to the left side, just going back and forth until we're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way we know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then of course just going in and filing the rest of the nail. But it's really important to first focus on that cuticle area, because you want to seal the acrylic from around there. If you don't, most likely you will get moisture trapped under there, and it's going to cause your acrylic to lift. So remember, again, you want your acrylic around that cuticle area to be really nice, flush, and sealed. So you focus around there first. Again, I'm using a fine drill bit, and we're just following around that cuticle, going from the right side over to the left side, just like a big circle, and then just following the rest of the nail. And usually I don't have any bumps or lumps on the nail, so I don't have to do so much filing on the actual nail bed, but I still go in, you know, and just file it just to make sure that it's all nice and even. But if you're a beginner and you're still having problems with, you know, maybe your nails are way too thick, or you have like bumps and lumps, then you are going to have to spend a little bit more time on filing the rest of the nail, because the only way to get rid of those bumps and lumps, and the only way to thin out the nail if they're too thick, is just by filing them. If you have them and they're like super thick, I would suggest using a medium drill bit, like a medium grit drill bit, and that's just gonna help file away a lot of that unnecessary and unwanted product. So again, if you're just filing to smooth them out and you don't have that many bumps and lumps, or you know, much filing to do, I would suggest using a fine or extra fine. And then if you have a lot of bumps and lumps, or your nails are too thick, I would suggest using a fine drill bit. And you can find all of these on Amazon, so I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. Alright, so next I'm going to go in and I'm just going to be buffing the nails. Remember, this is just going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from the e-file or the hand file, and this is a step that you do not want to skip, because if you do, you will be able to see those scratches on your nail once you apply the polish. So make sure that you buff them really good. As you can see, I always run my thumb over the top of the nail to check for any scratches to make sure that it's nice and smooth, and if it still feels a little bit rough, then I go in and just buff a little bit more. Alrighty, so now I just dust her nails off, and then I'm just wiping them off with an alcohol wipe. And then after this, we can go in and apply the polish. Alrighty, so the first color that I'm going to be using is in the color Harp on It by Color Club, and it's just a holographic silver polish that I use for under my bling, and this just helps with if anything falls off, it's not going to be as noticeable. And then for the rest of the nails, I'm going to go in with this really pretty tan color in the color Mochaccino by Madam Glam. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description as well as the promo code to Madam Glam, because I absolutely love these polishes. You guys know that I have a ton of them and I just love them so much. They go on so good. The coverage is just flawless and they're super shiny, so I do highly recommend these polishes if you're in the market for new gel polishes. And they also last so freaking long, y'all. Even on, like, of course it's gonna last on acrylic nails, but on natural nails, whenever I do some of my clients' toes, they like come back. Like yesterday I had a girl, she got her toes done probably like last month, and then yesterday when she came, she got them done again, and y'all, her toes were so grown out, but that polish did not go anywhere, like not a chip, not nothing. Like that polish was on there. So this gel polish absolutely is the best. So I do highly recommend them. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and polish all of the nails this color, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other hand. So we're doing Harp on It on the pinky, and then this color on all of the other nails. Alrighty, so now I'm going in and doing a second coat of that same mochassino color, and then we're going to go ahead and cure them for another 30 seconds. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in with our nail art. So this color that I'm using is Perfect White by Madam Glam. And then I'm also going to be using some other gel polishes, and those are going to be by D&D. And it's going to be Fuchsia Touch, Green Springs, and Lemon Juice. And then this is going to be like a 90s inspired nails. So I'm pretty sure everyone, like literally everyone has had something similar to this. I know the very first time that I got my nails done, I had one of these designs like on my ring finger. I think it was like silver and orange. I think I still have a picture. I'm gonna try to look for them because I think I was like in the 4th grade when I got my first set of acrylic nails. So I wonder when, I'm pretty sure, like, I know everybody that watches my videos are into nails, so leave me in the comments like how old were you when you first got your nails done, because I'm just curious to know. But anyways, now once we cured the white, I'm going in with the Fuchsia Touch by D&D, and I'm just gonna like randomly draw some lines on there. And I'm gonna, since I'm using gel polish, I'm gonna do a color at a time. So you will see me do the pink, and then I'm gonna come back and do the green, and then the lemon juice. So I'm just gonna, you know, take my time with it so the colors don't mess up since they are gel polishes. But again, I'm just doing random designs on the nail, and I'm just using my small nail art brush, and then I'm also gonna be using a dotting tool. And this set was actually inspired by Fetish for Nails on Instagram, so I'll be sure to leave her Instagram down below. Alrighty, so once we're done with the nail art, we're going to go in and apply the bling on the pinky. So I'm going to be using some of my jelly rhinestones, and I'm using the pink ones and the neon green. And I'm just going to do some like randomly in the middle of the nail. And then we're going to come back in with my SS6 and SS12 AB rhinestones, and we're going to fill in the entire nail. These neon rhinestones, I actually don't remember where I got them from. Most likely it was Amazon. I know that I've had them for a really long time, but I don't use them very often, so I still have a lot of them. But they're just called jelly rhinestones, I believe. But anyways, after that, we're gonna go in and again fill the rest of the nail in with the SS6 and SS12, and I'm using the ZULAY nail adhesive. As you guys know, I've been using it for a while. I was using the Mia Secret gel resin, but the ZULAY nail adhesive works a lot better. Like the Mia Secret, it worked good, but the ZULAY nail adhesive, it works really good. Because even my clients the other day, they're like, one girl, she was like, are you using a new glue for the rhinestones? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, me and my sister were talking about it, because like they don't go anywhere. And with the Mia Secret, like, you know, they lasted, but you know, some of them would fall off here and there. But with this one, like, they stay on so good. So I do highly recommend her glue or her nail adhesive. So I'll be sure to leave the link in the description, but if you just go on Instagram, her name is ZULAY. Alrighty, so I'm also going to go ahead and apply some bling on this middle finger. So I'm just going to be using some bigger pieces, my SS12, my SS6, as well as some jelly ones. And these are actually the horse eye bling. So I applied a SS12 in the middle. I applied a horse eye above it and below it, and then I'm going in with the jelly bling, and then I'm also going to go in there with some SS6. And then after that, we're going to spray the nails with the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, which is just a spray that's going to help the glue dry a lot faster, because since it is a gel resin, it's a thicker consistency, so it takes a little bit longer to dry. But with the spray, it's like it instantly dries that glue. But after that, we're going to go ahead and go in with the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat. I've been using it a lot lately, and I absolutely love it. It's so, it goes on really good, and it's really shiny. So I do recommend that you get their top coat as well. Before, I was using the, was it the IBD? Yeah, IBD Gel Top Coat, and it went on really good as well, but it was just a little bit on the thicker side. So sometimes it was a little bit hard to, you know, not get it on there so thick. But anyways, once we're done applying the top coat on this hand, we're gonna go ahead and cure it for 60 seconds, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other hand. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They're really pretty. Those colors look so good together and they're so freaking long and pretty. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.